morning, Robertson County. How you doing? This is 1100 WSGI. I'm Utah Laverne. This is one street over. You know that little thing we do that keeps you up to date about everything going on in the county. We love visiting with all of our neighbors and seeing what's going on one street over where we live because there's so many things. I'm one of those that have most of my career commuted to Nashville, and if you don't pay attention, you don't know what's going on around this county. And for many years, I would see the signs that would say Christmas Sampler and didn't really know what it was. And when I finally went one year, I finally made the time to go. Oh my goodness. People talk about going to different things in Nashville. And my daughter-in-law's family, they love this kind of stuff. And I said, you guys have never been to the Christmas Sampler. You need to come to the Christmas Sampler. They'll be blown away. It's incredible. Hi, Amy Corbin. Amy Corbin's in the house to talk to us about the Christmas Sampler and other things because she's one of our sponsors who we love and cherish, and we'll talk to her about that too. But you were saying something about all the things I do. Really? That's the pot calling the kettle there because you stay pretty busy too, sis. And
I do, but I enjoy it.
Yeah, see,
life is good.
Yeah, I love doing all kinds of things. I tell everybody, I said, when I'm on vacation, and I'm not kidding, I don't know hardly what to do with myself. Now, I find things to do, but I have a very hard time just being still. My devotional this morning was like, you need to be still so you can hear from God and quiet. And I'm like, that's hard.
It's very hard. For me, it's hard too.
Yes. So we're going to start out. I was out visiting with Amy, probably at least 5-6 weeks ago. And you said, put me on the calendar for the Christmas Sampler. And at that time, I didn't realize that was your thing because you're farmer's market treasurer too. And so I talked to you a lot about the farmer's market. You are still a treasurer for the farmer's market.
Well,
are you not?
Yes.
Are you? Okay.
Yes.
So she knows about all those things too. We talked a little bit about Christmas decorating as we were, getting everything set up this morning. We'll talk about that before it's over. But let's start with the reason why we made this appointment. And it's the Christmas Sampler. Why are you involved with it? Who puts the Christmas Sampler on? I know, but tell them.
Okay. The Christmas Sampler, the first year was 1979.
Oh, wow.
It is put on from the Federation of Women's Clubs in Springfield or Robertson County. Mm-hmm. Every year, the first weekend in November is the Sampler. Now, we missed 2 years.
Yeah.
The past 2 years because of COVID, and we are very glad to be back.
I know. That's exciting. And that's something that Terry mentioned yesterday. Terry Martin was in here, and we were talking about all the events at the center and how it's just come back to life because the Sugar Plum Ball's coming back.
Right.
All of that. But, and that had actually gone into hiatus before COVID, I think.
Yes.
And so that's real exciting to have that coming back. But everybody's just ready to get out there. So I think it's going to be a very, very well-attended event this year, the Christmas Sampler.
We hope so.
Yeah.
For our vendors that are participating, we hope it's going to be a very well attended event.
How many vendors are we talking?
I believe 89.
Oh, wow. Because the flyer here says 60 plus, and I was like, I think you're going to have more than 60. But
we have the first floor and the second floor with vendors, yes. And if I am plus or minus a few, please excuse my misinformation. It is not intentional.
She's busy. She's busy. She's got a lot going on. No, but I'm just teasing. But now, okay, so what is it? Is it a fundraiser? What is it? What does it benefit?
The ticket sales and the vendor booth fees go for the upkeep and preservation of the Glenn Memorial Women's Club, which is on 5th Avenue.
Okay.
The Federation is a group of 7 women's clubs that all do different things, projects. Yes.
I didn't realize that. Okay,
Yes.
I thought it was just one particular club, but it's 7 different
No,
ones.
we
that
have
put this-
7 different
Really?
clubs. We have Wednesday Study Club.
Okay.
We have the Short Story Club. We have Robertson County Career Women. We have, let me look at my list so I don't, the Century Club. We have Women's Outreach Club. We have the Clay Lick chapter of the Daughter of the American Colonies. And we have the Charlotte Reeves Robertson Daughters of the American Revolution.
Oh, wow. I had no idea.
Yes.
I thought that, honestly, I thought it was something to do with the Daughters of the American Revolution. I don't know why I had that in my head. Because now, do they all use that building?
We do, yes.
Really? Okay, because see, I've been here since 92, y'all, and I did not realize that. I thought that was one club that had that building. I thought it had something to do with the Daughters of the American Revolution. And then Ace had told me, Ace Timmermeyer had said something about the Short Story Club, which I thought, that sounds cool. But it's just, that is neat. So I'm a woman hearing this. I'm like, I want to be in a club. How do I do that? How would I get in contact?
Just call me at the greenhouse.
Okay.
And I will put you in touch with, I'm a member of Robertson County Career Women.
Okay.
And we would love to have you join our club.
I would. When do
We
y'all meet? When do you meet?
We meet once a month, the fourth Thursday evening of every month at 6:00. We have a dinner, and we have a caterer that caters everything. And we have a program every month. We have a hostess, but we would love to have you.
Oh, I would love to do it. I'm sitting here, my husband's going, Laverne, we have baseball and we have this. That's the one thing that pulls in my time.
Mark on the calendar to do a program.
There you go. There you go. It's so funny. I had the recovery court graduation is today. And so Althea and Megan and Judge were in here last week to talk about it because we'll be going today with some students. And so they've asked me to be on the board with the recovery court. And I said
wonderful.
Yes. And he's like, and my husband's like, more time away from me. And I'm like, so let me talk to him about it. I would love to, I need to be a part of one of the women's clubs.
You do.
I really do.
And this is Robertson County Career Women that I'm involved in. We had an 8th club for years, the Music Study Club, but they have disbanded.
Okay.
As of June, they are no longer a federated club. So we have 7 clubs.
Okay. Well, and it sounds like this one, the Career Club, is one that has got an open enrollment. You've got plenty of room for folks, or do you have a limit on how many come in?
No.
Well, see, now I know that Short Story Club does, though, don't they?
Yes, they do.
See, and I'm like, how do you get in the Short Story Club? But that meets in the day. That would be impossible for me if I'm a school
Wednesday
teacher.
Study Club, Short Story Club,
Yeah.
DAR and DAC meet during the day.
Yeah, so you would have to be free.
Century Club
in the area.
and Robertson County Career Women. And then Women's Outreach. I am so sorry. I did not mention them.
Oh, you
they
did.
meet.
You did.
Okay.
You did. I
They
heard it, 'cause
meet in
that
the
hurt
day
me.
also.
Because I wondered what type of outreach do they do? Because when you said that, I thought, okay, that could.
All kinds.
Okay, anything. Okay.
Our responsibility, all clubs, is service to this
You bet.
community. We all are involved in different projects. The Federation itself gives a scholarship to a Robertson County graduating young lady. And all of these scholarships that we give go through the Robertson County. There is a board that all of that is handled through. The guidance counselors at the schools, the respective high schools, have the information for the students to apply. Robertson County Career Women, we do a scholarship every year to a young lady. DAR does a, I've got all my information here from all the clubs, so forgive me for thumbing through papers.
Oh, no, you're fine. Absolutely.
But they do scholarships for citizenship.
Okay.
DAC, Daughters of the American Colonies, do the same thing in ROTC. So it is our responsibility as citizens of this county to support. A lot of the clubs are involved with donations to my father's house, Isaiah's house. We do, I know DAR and DAC a lot for the veterans in Nashville and in Robertson County. We do, I know Robertson County Career Women. We have done we had a shower one year for Open Door Pregnancy Center.
Oh, cool.
We are involved in monetary donations to Kiwanis, the Christmas for Children. We do that's our responsibility.
Yeah.
So that's what we're there for. Plus, it's wonderful fellowship.
I agree.
You know, it is. It's just wonderful fellowship with your sisters in your club.
I think that's a great idea. And Ace is very involved in stuff. And, you know, Ace was coming in here for a while, you know, with the United Way. And so she was always talking to me about the different ones. And I don't think I knew specifics about she mentioned them, but the only one I knew many specifics about was the Short Story Club, because I think she's in it or something. And she was telling me how there's a limit on how many they can have. And, but I hadn't really, and I've talked to Jordan Osborne about some of the clubs and things that they do. And it seems, is Jordan involved in the Career Club? For some reason,
no.
I feel like I've heard her talk about that. But these are things, if you're new to the area and you want to get to know people in the area, I can't think of a better way to do it. So how many, say in the Career Women's Club, about how many do y'all have in attendance?
Right now, we've got 14.
Okay, very
At
good.
one time, originally, Robertson County Career Women was part of a nationwide organization, Business and Professional Women. When I joined this club years ago, there were over 30 members.
Oh, wow.
But now the Business and Professional Women nationwide it disbanded. That organization went away. But so we became Robertson County Career Women.
Okay.
So
and see, and that's the thing. A lot of things will change and evolve and all that. But I love the fact that you guys have such a history of in the community, and you've been around a while. So
yes, DAR is celebrating their 95th birthday.
Oh, wow!
And they are part of a national organization. This is one chapter. Wednesday Study Club, organized in 1925.
Oh, wow. What do they study?
DAC.
What do they study? When you said that, what do they study? Is it a Bible study? Is it just a study? I don't know. Is it political? I mean, what do they study?
It's every club. Every year in the fall, club years run September through May.
Okay.
And every year a handbook is printed for each club.
Okay.
And that's the responsibility of that club.
Okay.
And programs are chosen, program topics for each month for those meetings. And that is the topic that's studied.
Okay.
And in everything, a lot of times we have speakers for our clubs, community leaders and things.
Awesome.
Short Story Club is their thing, and that is the library. You know, they were the original club that started the library. The first library when it was staffed by short story club members. The library, I remember this, I'm old, and everybody remember I'm old. I have this white hair.
Me too.
This white hair and these big bifocals. But the first library that I remember before Gorham McBain was built was actually in the Glen.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I got in trouble. One day, 3 of us, I'm not going to name names, at recess decided we would go over the fence at Cheatham Park and go to the library during recess.
Sounded reasonable, sure.
And
Let's go get a book.
And, you know, when we get, and the big chain link fence had those sharp things at the top.
Yeah.
And when we were coming back across, one person, not me, got this on their hand right here, and that's how we got caught. We got in trouble. But we went to the library.
Yeah.
But that is the first housed library in Springfield.
Interesting. So that's fascinating. I love this history. It's so funny. Bill Jones I think he was speaking to the Short Story Club.
He's wonderful.
Yeah, he is
He
fun.
has spoken to us.
Yeah, he's a lot of fun to talk to, and he'll tell me all this history of this area. And it's just, I'm fascinated. I wish I had plugged in earlier because I've missed out on so much. I've been here since 92, and it's only in the last few years that all these doors have opened. I often wonder, it's like, I ran for Congress a few years ago against John Rose, and he won. He's a great guy. But I often wonder, I'm like, God, why you know how you feel God's direction? And I felt very drawn to do that. And I still am just kind of perplexed, you know, because I didn't have enough money to really compete. So I'm like, what was that all about? But I think a lot of what that was about is opening the doors to what goes on here. Because until that, I had not.
Yeah.
You know, and he did. And so and it's just opened up. I think it's led to my teaching job. All the things that I'm doing here, all of those things were opened up because of that journey. And so I'm going, oh, okay, it's kind of a roundabout way to get there, but you know, I'll take it. We're talking with Amy Corbin, and we're talking about the Christmas Sampler. But I wanted to get the story behind the Christmas Sampler. I knew it was a nonprofit, but I knew it had something to do with the women's clubhouse, is what a lot of people call it.
The Glen.
The Glen.
You hear a lot of people say at the Glen.
At the Glen, and I just feel like I'm just hanging out with the blue-haired ladies talking about the Glen.
Thank you.
You know. I mean that in the utmost praise.
I know you do.
I do.
I know you do.
One of my favorite stories, I walked into many, many, many years ago, because Miss Payne is no longer with us.
I know.
And I walked into Springfield Drugstore, and there was a circle at the table, and they were all little blue-haired ladies, and they were all just beautiful. And Miss Payne, this is because I had a little stint where I worked for them for about a year. And I walk in, and it was long before that, and I'm tall, and you can't hardly miss me. And Miss Payne looked up to me, and she says, "Why, young lady, who are you? Or see, what is your name, and who are your people? You know, what is your name, and who are your people?" And I will never forget that. But she's the kind of person that'd be talking about going to the Glen. And it's just a Southern genteel thing, I think. It just kind of rolls off the tongue.
But it's history.
Yes, it is. Yes,
it is history. You know, my great-grandmother, she was a strong lady. And when she said jump, we all said how high.
Right.
But now, the piano that's in the Glen, there were 3 ladies that went to the Steinway factory in New York City and bought 3 Steinways. One was bought for the Methodist Church. Grandmother went to help. They bought the one for the Glen, and then she bought my mother's.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, a lot of us that are involved in the Federation, it goes back years, and it's wonderful memories.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful home that was left to the ladies' clubs
Okay.
by Molly and Neil Glenn. And so,
How long
Yeah.
ago? When did they leave that? What era did they? Do you know when they lived?
it was left to in 1946 when she
Wow.
passed away.
Okay.
It was willed. She was Short Story Club,
Okay.
and it was willed to the Federation of Women's Clubs. It's guided by a board of trustees, and so
Did it at that time become a library immediately, or do you?
no.
Okay.
The library before it was at the Glen. Bill Jones could tell us where
Bill
it
Jones, we
was.
got to get a hold
Where
of
are
you.
you when we
Yeah,
need
that's just
you?
it. We got questions, Bill.
And then it was at the Glen,
Okay.
and then Gorham McBain was built.
Okay. Okay. It's fascinating. I love this history. We've got a fascinating town, just full of information and full of just wonderful stories. So if you're new, welcome and get ready, buckle up, because we are getting into our season that is just wild. We're starting with we jump right into Christmas with the Christmas. Of course, there's all kinds of harvest, Halloween stuff going on this weekend. Robertson County Players open tonight with Night of the Living Dead, and that's the sci-fi version. I know there's all kinds of stuff going on in Adams probably still. I imagine they still have the plays going on out there.
And then this weekend is the Fall Festival at Bell School, Friday
good.
from
Yep.
3 to 8, Saturday Corbin Creek Greenhouse will be there.
Awesome.
So, but one other thing. People that are listening to this, ladies, if you're interested in joining a club or getting information, next weekend, Friday from 4 until 9, the sampler is open, and Saturday all day from 8 until 5. All of the sampler board members, we will have on black bottoms and white tops. Now, there
Okay.
may be a few that don't, but we will have on an apron that has holly on it. Grab one of us, ask somebody, where's Amy Corbin? They'll find me. I'll be there the whole time.
Okay.
And let us give you the information. We would love to have you.
Absolutely. And the career club, I mean, just all these clubs sound fascinating, and it's a chance just to get to know your community better, something that I have not tapped into, and I've been here too long to have not done that.
You have.
And absolutely. And so we all got to do better, all of us commuters. I'm no longer a commuter, though. I work in Robertson County for the school system, and I'm having so much fun. But if you're one of the commuters like I have been most of my career, plug into your community. You're going to be so glad you did, and I'm so glad these doors have opened for me. Let's pause, let's do a break, and let's come out and let's talk very, very specific about the sampler. We've touched on it, but make sure everybody understands what to expect, and then we'll have United Way sliding in here. Amy and I could sit here and talk for a while. Can
All
you tell?
day.
Yes, we could.
All day.
Yes, we could. I go out to pick up my CBD, and we'll get out there and we'll get to talking. We'll talk about radio. We'll talk about what's going on at school, at the radio stuff, all kinds of things we'll talk about. And you're just a plethora of information when it comes to your CBD products. I just love that. My mother, yesterday, I'm talking to her, and we were in a terrible, terrible car crash when I was in 4th grade. We were hit by a drunk driver, and my mother got the brunt of it. They told her at that time, everywhere she was injured, expect her arthritis to settle, and it has. And she gets just almost immobile in her shoulder and her neck because of the injuries that she had. The salve got her. She goes, that salve. She uses several different things, but she says it just seems to be consistently that the CBD salve is the thing that gets her over the edge when she's having a hard time. That's cool. And I mean, what's behind the salve? How is it made? You make it in the house, don't you?
Yeah.
You and Miss Jane make it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's made from Brother Bill's plants.
The raw what we call biomass, which is the hemp that has been dried and stripped, is the oil is extracted from that by cooking it in coconut oil and canola oil.
Yeah.
And olive oil, excuse me. My
Yeah.
mother will slap me when I get home.
You're like, come
Jane,
on.
I'm sorry. And
So
then, so we make the base oil from biomass,
Right.
which is the hemp.
plants, yeah.
And then we use, then that is done and strained. And then there are a lot of herbs that are in it.
Yeah, you don't want to give it away. I mean, it's
Well, it's okay.
Yeah.
There's a label on the can. Those are oils extracted the same way in heated oil from that. And then it's all put together and heated. And you add your beeswax to.
Right.
Yeah.
for the consistency
Yes.
and all of that. But it's great stuff, and my mom swears by it.
And it's got camphor in it that takes it deep into the tissue.
Okay.
So
And I can't imagine what the house smells like when you're cooking that
it
stuff.
smells wonderful.
I love the smell of it. I love
smells
it.
wonderful.
I love it. And so, but I just love the stuff, and I love the oil. I use the oil every day because my doctor told me to. The connection between you and Dr. Hodrick, that y'all knew each other, just blew my mind because I had no idea that y'all knew of each other. And whenever he told me to check into it, and then 2 days later, you're like, oh, yeah. And I didn't know y'all even had the products. Again, another thing that slipped by me. I thought you guys were bedding plants and house plants and all of those things. Had no idea that you did that. And what, it's really funny going to your bedding plants. Brian Pulley, who'll be coming in here in a minute, he got all of his bedding plants for his garden this year from you. And he says, it's the best garden I've ever had. He goes, I will never buy my bedding plants anywhere else again. And it's because they're so rooted and they're so
we
well
try.
rooted. Yeah.
We try.
Well, he was bragging on you all summer long.
I'm glad
All summer
it was
long.
a good garden.
It was a very good garden for him. And that's just, it's quality. It is just quality. She stands behind it completely. I love everything that I've ever gotten through there. I've got to come get me another little bowl cozy. Does your mom still make those? Who's making those now?
Amanda and Mother
Okay.
make the bowl cozies and aprons.
And the aprons.
Yes.
So if you need a gift idea, those are two, and I'm betting, are they going to be at the sampler? You going to have some of that stuff at the
No,
sampler? or
we do
just
not
gonna
have
it
a
at the-
booth.
Okay. Well, you're too busy, really. And I kind of figured that. So if you want this stuff, you're
We'll
going to have to go
be
to Corbin.
at the Adams Fall Festival this
Okay.
weekend,
Yeah.
or there at the greenhouse.
Okay. And so just get by there. You've got all your house plants, your succulents. I know were featured on the Facebook page yesterday. The hours have been cut back. They're 10 to 4 Monday through Saturday, 1 to 4 on Sunday because it's cold. And so you've cut the hours back a little bit. Will you always have 7 days a week through the winter, do you think? Or do you think they'll maybe take Sunday off in the deep winter?
We'll
You'll take it.
December, January, February,
Yeah.
Sunday off. Yeah.
Okay, I kind of thought that. And the best thing, I tell everybody, the best way to keep up with everything that's going on, just go, that's what I do every morning as I go to your Facebook page, see what's happening. If I haven't talked to you in a couple of days, say, oh, this is what's happening. Oh, we got to mention the Christmas lights. You guys are already booked out for November. And so if you want Christmas lights, if you want them to help with the Christmas lights, you got to get a hold of them right now, wouldn't you say?
November is booked. Yes.
So if you want Christmas lights, if you want Christmas decorations, I shouldn't say just Christmas lights. If you want them to help with the tree, anything like that, you need to get them home at Corbin Creek Greenhouse. Give them your phone number.
615-384-3185.
Very good. Do it one more time. That's how you do it in radio.
615-384-3185.
Okay, and back to the stuff. We appreciate them so much. One of our longtime sponsors, and we just love y'all a lot. Thank you for sponsoring. And when y'all go out there, tell her I sent you. But let's go back. We're just out of time, but I want you to go over everything with the sampler again, Christmas sampler, and I'll keep pushing it. Can I keep this, or do you need that?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'll keep that, and we'll put that up and keep promoting that for you all the way. And I'm going to try my best to get by there. I don't know what's going on with my grandkids. You know how that goes. But I'm going to try to maybe even bring the whole
love the
family.
pictures you post
Oh,
of
thank you
them.
very much. Thank you very much.
That little girl, now she is going to be a go-getter.
Yeah, she's right in the middle of those two boys.
I love the big bows. I love those on little girls. I just love those.
Before my daughter-in-law had any girls, she says, if I ever have a girl, she's going to have a bow as big as her head.
And I love
That's
those.
cute. They're fun. Nothing like it. But get ready if we bring the crew in. I'm trying to get them here for the Boo Bash Dash, which is Saturday morning for Casa. And so I'm trying to get my crew. They're in Gallatin, so it's a bit of a drive. And they stay booked up. I try to get them to move here, but she's got so much family out in Mount Juliet, so it's hard. It's hard, trying to get them everywhere you want them to be.
It is.
So we'll do our best to get them to the sampler. Tell me again the particulars. I forgot that you had Friday hours. So you're opening next Friday.
Next Friday. Tickets, online ticket sales are closed. But we have plenty of tickets at the door. Tickets for Friday night are $10, which is good for Friday from 4 until 9, and Saturday from 8 until 5. That $10 ticket is good for both days. Saturday from 8 until 5, tickets are $5 for that day.
Okay, and I'll tell you really want to get that ticket on Friday, because I hear people that go, they want to be there the minute the door opens, because people will sometimes sell out of stuff because they get swamped.
They do. We have a lot of vendors. Now, we've got a lot of new vendors this year, but some of our vendors have been coming for years. Yeah. And people come specifically for those vendors that,
because they know that this is what they do. This is it. I'm a candy maker, and I have not made candy for sale in years and years and years, and I don't intend to pick it up anytime soon, but I might. But I could see me being one of those, sampler vendors that I'm going to make this for that, and then I'm done, because I don't have time to do it any other time. But something special. And do you have any room for any more vendors? You're sold out on that, aren't you? That's
we are full,
yeah,
but we have a waiting list. Okay. Go to the website, thechristmassampler.com. It's either .com or .org.
Okay.
I am so sorry. I am so
Christmas sampler, just,
and go ahead and put your information in so that you will be notified next year in February. Right. Mid to late February, early March, when we start taking applications, because we traditionally have a waiting list. Yeah. But that's the way to get in, is get on the list and get your foot in the door.
Okay. And there's a QR code, which is really cute. It's got like all Christmas trees and stuff on it. What a cute little QR code. That's adorable. But the QR code, you can scan that on. I'll put it up close to the camera, and you might even be able to see it and scan it. I'm not sure. But do you have any information at Corbin Creek? Do you have any Christmas sampler stuff up at Corbin? On your Facebook page?
No.
I just thought you might. I just thought you might. But just Google the Christmas sampler.
Just tell me all the things I'm doing wrong in life.
I'm just asking. I'm so sorry.
It's
but anyway, well, you're just so good about your social media. I thought you might have thrown something up there.
I do not do our social media. That is Small Town Startup that handles all of our social media.
Lisa Arnold.
Yes. And Lisa Arnold is booth chairwoman this year and has done a phenomenal job.
Oh, yeah, she's a getter. She gets it.
She is. But I'm not. I am electronically illiterate. Okay. I make no excuses, no apologies. There is no way I could figure all that stuff out. And that's not my thing.
Yeah. Well, that's fascinating, because Lisa's doing a great job, because it looks like you're doing it.
No.
It makes it look like you're the one putting it up. That's fabulous.
No.
I love it.
They have done a phenomenal job for us.
Yeah,
they really have.
Well,
and they are wonderful people to work with.
Yep. She does an awesome job. And I've another one that I need to get in here, but she's one of those phone calls I make, and she's always busy and booked. Same thing. There's a lot of folks that we've been trying to get in here, and they just stay so busy. They're kind of like you all the time. I'm expecting Brian Pulley and Tiffany Thompson in, and I have not seen them out there. I don't know if they're here or not. Do you mind? I'm going to go ahead. They are? Oh, they're hiding. I didn't see them come in.
Well,
we better wrap up then. We better wrap up. But I love you, Miss Amy.
And I love you, and thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure. And, always. And go see her at Corbin Creek Greenhouse Gifts and Gardening Store. 10 to 4 Monday through Saturday, 1 to 4 on Sunday. Everything you need for CBD. They've got house plants, beautiful stuff, craft items, and you can see them at the Adams Fall Festival this weekend as well.
Yes.
And we'll see you at the Sampler next weekend.
Thank you much.
Thank you, darling. Love you.
Love you
Thank you
too.
so much for sponsoring what we do here as well. And we're going to let Miss Amy slide out and let Brian and Tiffany come sliding on in here. And while they're doing that, I'm going to talk about my friends Barry and Rebecca Richards with the Exit Realty Garden Gate team. Love them so much. I've got to just keep bragging on Barry for coming out and talking to my students about all the things that he knows how to do. And there's a lot because he was in market. I didn't know y'all were out there. I was like, where are they? So we were just killing time. Get on in here. But I know, but we're Hollywood, we're just getting Hollywood. Tiffany and Brian are coming on in and getting comfortable, but we're going to continue talking about Barry and Rebecca Richards with the Exit Realty Garden Gate team. Barry came out and talked to my students about all the things that he does from a marketing perspective, He was vice president of a media marketing company for 17 years. He was flying a drone around our classroom. It was awesome. It was an indoor drone. It was safe, but showed the kids so much of the technology that they use to show your property. If you have property for sale, he can do this 360-degree virtual reality home tour that lets you walk through a home without having to walk through the home. He can do drone footage and let people see the property. All the things that people really want to see when they're looking for property these days. Does a Zillow certified photographer, does excellent photography. So when they're flipping through looking at listings, your property is going to jump and stand out because that might be the only chance you get. It's kind of like Tinder. People go looking for properties, they flip. I'll turn your mics on. Y'all just dying to jump in.
You're fine. I've never used Tinder. Did not come. I was not around.
I wasn't either, but I just know.
You know the concept of it, okay?
Well, it's just because of social
media. It's an interesting comparison. I love it. Yeah.
This is social media, but it's the same kind of thing. People go flipping through houses, and that's what I've been told they do on Tinder. I don't know, people.
It's what you've been told, huh?
That's what I've been told. Okay, my children, I still have one single adult child.
So you hear.
And then before my son that was in the military, before he married, I think he was a Tinder person. And I'm not sure that him and they knew each other from high school, but I need to shut up. I get in trouble.
Our kids keep us in the loop.
Yes,
right?
they do.
Stuff. What's going on? Like,
yes,
what's happening? I don't know what's happening in the world.
I admit though, like the photography of the listing of my house is like, as soon as I saw a picture of the house, I knew that was my house. So
Ding,
the
ding,
photography was super important.
I love how you guys just reinforce all the things I say. I need to pay y'all.
I'm still waiting for a kickback.
I want to check.
Or just a slight donation to United Way. Either one works.
There you go. I gotta become a United Way partner. So here we go, guys. Talk to Barry and Rebecca Richards. If you're buying or selling, whatever side of the fence you're on, they are in Robertson County. They've been here for over 20 years up in Cross Plains. They specialize in Robertson County properties, but they also buy and sell in the surrounding counties and across the state line in Kentucky. Great friends. Contact them today. Sellwithbecky.com, sellwithbecky.com, or buy, B-U-Y, RobertsonCounty.com. Always please let them know that U-Turn sent you. And getting back into the show now, it is time for us to talk to my friends. They're, Brian Pulley and Tiffany Thompson.
You're still in ad read.
I'm still in ad read mode. Yeah, we're going to be talking about Cumberland Connect here in a minute.
I'm ready.
I'm
I got
ready.
something for you.
And so I just want to publicly apologize to Miss Tiffany. I was talking something yesterday that had slipped, and I was like, well, I don't know about that because Ace isn't coming in anymore. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, Tiffany's doing a wonderful job. And Ace has just got this photographic memory, and she forgets nothing. And so, I love you, Tiff. But she comes by my classroom yesterday.
I was
I'm
going
like,
to say, I got to see her teach yesterday. I walked into her classroom. Oh, she's amazing.
Oh, thank
absolutely
you.
amazing.
Thank y'all. I hope I hope the students think so. I hope that that all the people at Recovery Court think so when I bring them 20 teenagers today to Recovery Court, because we're going to interview Judge and any of the participants that might want to be interviewed, because we're doing a documentary about the evolution of the drug industry and things that have happened, addictions and all those things, how we get here. And so I thought, I would love it if I could just get every single one of those high school students at the Recovery Court graduation, so they see they see what it is when you mess around with that stuff, and then they see that if you do mess around with that stuff, you can be healed and you can recover. And two, to just see the memorial of the people who you will recognize. You won't literally recognize them, but you'll be like, man, that looks like my grandma.
Right.
wow, that looks like my cousin. That looks like, because I mean, the people who didn't make it, that they remember at the ceremony that they do at the end of that thing, it'll take your breath away. And I'm so afraid we have to be back at school by 2. So they've got a little bit smaller class. I'm hoping it's all going to work out, because I want them to have that experience, because I think it's life-changing and it's something they'll never forget. I wish every one of those students would go.
That is such a cool thing. You're like real world thing you're doing both from the school standpoint of like shooting documentary. That's really cool that you're like taking them to do that, but also just from a life standpoint.
Yeah.
Because I went through
thank you.
a couple of those graduations and having kids. I was thinking about my own kids, like how do these young people end up where they're at,
Yeah.
and you think about that, but that life is, it's a journey. And so they had a bad turn, but they're not like letting that be the end of what they were doing. And they're very fortunate that it's not the end of what they were doing, because some of them what they were doing could kill you. But just like you have second chances and third chances and fourth chances sometimes, but you just got to keep moving forward. So it's a really cool thing you're taking the kids.
Well,
and
thank you.
they need to see that stuff too, because the age they're at, well, I can dabble in this stuff or
No.
try this or do
They
this.
feel invincible. They think they really can get through it on the other side. Well, and that's some of the work that we're doing with the Robertson County Prevention Coalition. I'll put a little plug in for
Go ahead.
that.
Yeah,
I'm the co-chair of that.
Segue.
Thank you. Thank you.
Beautiful. I'm gonna sit back and drink coffee.
But that's one of the things that we really try to do, is get into the schools and help teach them. So I'm really interested in this documentary, and because it's coming from peers, and that's what's really powerful, is when peers can teach peers, hey, this is what I know and this is what I've learned. And I remember once I was threatening something to my son, my teenager, and he's like, fine, I'm just going to go and do all the bad things. I'm going to go get on drugs or something like that. And I said, you know, if you do that, that's on you, because you do know better. I've had a mom who has been a social worker, who's been in people's homes that have struggled with that and the addiction that comes, I'm like, but it's not because you didn't know better, because you have been taught. And so being able to teach each other what can happen is powerful. It's
You
really
bet.
powerful. They're changing the world.
And and what is so terrifying now is we all I remember the 60s and 70s, and a lot of the things that went on. It's not the same thing. It's not the same drugs. Things are laced with fentanyl. And I was talking with one of the principals at Greenbrier, and a conversation got opened up because we're doing this documentary. And I wanted to tell him what I said to the student. And I said, and I just wish I'd spent more time saying, you do understand it's not a joke. You can't play, because one time you could smoke one joint, and if it's laced with fentanyl, it can kill you. And he told me that happened a few years ago. Happened with a student. And it's like you just can't play with that stuff anymore. It's just anyway, I just want them to see. There's
That's
just
a really cool thing.
better choice. So.
Yeah, and this is what you bring to the table, like real world stuff. Like that's a beautiful. I mean, already making an impact. So good on you.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's
you.
good.
It was so fun.
Yeah.
I had told the students, I said, we got a few people going to come through and tour, and I was like, you better be on your best behavior. You know all the things you do. Pick up the trash. Put your, set up. All these kinds of things. I said, let's really make a good impression. And I said, there's going to be a few people, and then a whole busload of people come in, and they're like, oh my word. Then the director of schools comes walking in.
It's a lot. That day's a fun day, but it's a lot when we come in. Particularly the little kids. They're like, what is going on? All these adults are here.
And my students were all like, Miss Vivio, that was a lot. I was like, but y'all did great.
It was very interesting. The Coopertown elementary school kids had the first graders sing and play like the xylophone for us. Oh my goodness. Just great things going on in the school system here. I was very impressed.
Best kids are at Coopertown. There's no doubt. So.
Coopertown parent
That's
there.
right. That's right.
I love our little rivalry we get amongst our schools. It's a lot of fun.
It is. I still despise Greenbrier. So I grew up in.
I'm a Bobcat.
I'm a Springfield High School graduate, so I'm just up front. And we played them in every sport, obviously. And so to this day, I'm 47 years old. I can't stand Greenbrier. I drive through it. It makes my skin crawl a little bit. I'll just be honest. It's a rivalry. I cannot stand that place, man.
I'm a Bobcat.
I know that's where you are.
Yeah,
So
watch
I
it.
try to be nice, but it's
wear my
still
green.
difficult. It's still difficult at this age.
That's
I'm still angry
hysterical.
about it. Yeah.
That's the nice thing about being a foreigner. Like, I could be
You don't
impressed
have
with
these
both
deep-rooted
schools, I was impressed with what was going on in Greenbrier. They showed us the best of the best in all the schools, and of course that's why they took us to Laverne's class yesterday.
Absolutely,
To show us
the best of the best.
And God bless all these teachers that have been doing this forever, and they coming, because that bothers me a little bit that we got the attention when you've got teachers that have been doing this their entire life, pouring their soul into it, and nobody ever notices. And the media person in me says, I'm so sorry, because that's what media is, and I apologize for media for that, because you do that, but there's just so many teachers that would have loved to have shown you what they do, but because of the things that drive media and interest and all of that, that's why the attention goes there. And I'm excited and very thankful and grateful and honored that I got the attention. But I do think about all those teachers that have been pouring their soul into this for so many years. They're like, over here.
Well, and they did mostly show us like the innovations, like the new things that are coming about. This is a new program, and they showed us what I was really excited about. And they're showing us in Watauga, they're doing a daycare for teachers that they're getting set up.
Wow.
And
That's huge.
My one of my big pet projects, as Brell know, I've talked to him endlessly about it, is getting more daycare, affordable daycare here in Robertson County, and so I was super excited about that program.
That's so difficult. And I was talking with my niece who is up in Kansas City, but she has the same issues that all these people who do here. She has a 1-year-old, and trying to find it. She was working in a daycare, and it just didn't work out. She was just it just wasn't her thing, and so now she's going to be a bus driver, and she can put Sophia in a car seat and be a bus driver. And I'm like, yes, that's what we've been trying to tell people here, that you can keep your kids.
She can take her child with her while she drives. I didn't know that.
And you can do that here, is my understanding. Now, I may be speaking out of turn. Mr. Heinerman came walking in yesterday too, and I had just been talking to the students about doing bus PSAs. He may have mentioned to me he was part of the leadership, but the leadership Robertson County this term, but I didn't remember it. And so he came walking in, and I'm like, kids, what were we just talking about? So I got some points with Mr. H. And what was so funny is when we went in to look at all the equipment in the other room, he was telling them how to cheat. He was in there telling them how to find all the best PSA stuff, and he kind of helped them cheat. And I didn't know all that until my husband filled me in this morning. He was like, yeah, he was giving them all kinds of tips on how to find the PSA stuff. And I was like, look to it from their imagination. Thanks, Mr. H. It was fun. It was all good.
Yeah.
It was all good. All right, so we're just saying hi. Took us 10 minutes to say hello.
That's
do it.
That's okay. And I want to go back to one thing you said about the teachers, though. We do our little Hero of the Week segment. Yeah. They could be that every. I mean, we're in the school with the Rotary. We have our Wheels in Motion program that we discussed, and we're in schools a lot, and so I get to I just like observing when I'm in there too, and I just watch how the dynamics are. But what you're saying about these teachers that are pouring their soul in and they've done it forever, right? And probably a lot of them never been recognized because there's so many of them. It just it blows me away to invest in our kids like that. So I always just want to say thank you for what they do. And as I'm dropping my daughter off this morning, and it's 35 degrees, and the ones that are out there directing traffic for us and making sure the kids get in safe, like from the bottom up, like every single one of them. So thank you for what you do. We appreciate you.
Absolutely. Yep. And I'm so honored to be a part of the teachers. That's the question I get all the time. They say, how do you feel about teachers now? And I said, I've always loved and respected you. I've never had any quarrels at all with teachers. And I said, I admire you and honor you even more now, because my goodness, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Yes, ma'am.
So very good stuff. But talking with Tiffany Thompson and Brian Pulley about all things United Way. Where do we? And I'm looking for something. The Wheels in Motion thing. I wanted to show you a picture. I want you to see right there. Do you know who that is? Wheels in Motion, right there, up in Gallatin. Do you know who's getting that?
No, I don't. I'm looking.
One of your grandkids?
That is my grandson.
Oh, man.
I didn't know that was happening, and when they told me that he was given a Wheels in Motion bike, he's a first grader, and his teacher said he's just such a good citizen kid.
That's who we give them to. Kids are doing the right thing. Listen to their teachers, getting grades.
I said, I know about that program. I said, that's a big deal.
It is a big deal.
And I just had to find you that picture. That happened the last month. I didn't get to go because I was teaching. It was the first Monday back after fall break.
Yeah.
But ain't that something?
That is very cool.
Congratulations. Thank you so much.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you so much. I had to brag on my boy.
No, you should. Yeah. That's a wonderful program, and the teachers are a big part of that as far as identifying those kids and, just kind of, reinforcing the ones that are doing it the right way and trying to listen to their teachers and being good classmates. And a lot of times it's something maybe specific that they've done, or a lot of times it's just like they're overall just really good kids and they're doing it what they asked. So
That's my grandson.
yeah, and whoever's got the Tennessee jersey in there, that looks good too. Go Vols.
I think it was probably Mimi. I don't know. That's his Mimi.
Yeah.
But she's
Mimi, you got a
retired.
good looking jersey on.
Well, no. Actually, that was, I don't know who that was, but
Looked like a teacher. It had a lanyard
it
on,
may
so
have been a
one of the
teacher.
teachers. Yeah.
But it's so funny. His Mimi is retired, and that helps us with the child care. And so it's just such a blessing to have that. But some of you going back, kind of that segue, going back to that what you were talking about with needing the daycare and talking about my niece being able to drive a bus and have that. I believe that's the case, but you've got childcare is just outrageous.
Yeah.
And if you want to work, and I was so blessed, I wanted to work after I had my kids. I didn't want to. I love the concept of being a stay-home mom. I just had too many things on my mind to. I needed something else. I needed another outlet too, and I was able to work from home. And have my kids with me all the time. It was a great blessing. And if we could get these daycare programs going in the schools where you could have your kids there with you, what a blessing. Go have lunch with them and spend time with them and interact with them. Even let your students interact with your kids. What a blessing that would be. I love that.
This has been her thing kind of since we started here, and I truly, like, we might just come in one day and just talk about the needs around that, because it's not just here. A lot of people say, well, it's because we live up in a rural county.
No.
We got a large gift from Mackenzie Scott, which was Jeff Bezos's ex-wife, and so she's very philanthropic. She gave a huge gifts to nonprofits all over the country as part of that money. So, but we studied that money for like a year and a half or something like that, and one of the major needs that was identified in the Middle Tennessee area was affordable child care.
Yeah.
People can't work.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, literally, like, they're talking about, where's all the employees? Some of them having to stay home, take care of their kids because they don't have daycare. Like, it's that simple. So Tiffany's kind of come in and beat that drum. I'll let her take it. But
I'm still beating it because we haven't solved the problem yet. But that's definitely
we're
one
far
of the
from
things.
it. Yeah.
I do think there are some challenges because of the rural county. Like, we don't have big chain daycares here, like KinderCare and those types of things. So I think that's part of it. And as the population starts filling in Robertson County, I mean, we're growing fast. And there isn't the daycare to support that. And I spent some time calling daycares the other day and asking, what the situation was. And one of them was just like, oh, well, I moved out of the county, so I don't do it anymore. And somebody's like, I've been full for 26 years. I just have always been full. And so it's just really interesting trying to figure out, we need to figure out the structure and why it is the way it is and how we can fix it. And so that's one of my big things I've been working on. So I will keep beating that. But yeah, I know it's a big problem with some of our main employers. And I found out yesterday, Robertson County is the number 2 employer in all our Robertson County schools, is the number 2 employer in the county, next to Electrolux. So they have the most employees, and therefore they have that's why they're doing this daycare thing, a big need. But I know Electrolux and AirTech and all these companies have daycare issues. When you have a young workforce, you've got people having babies.
Yeah. Absolutely. And we're just talking about all things connected with United Way, the nonprofits around our community. That's what they do every week when they come in here at 7:30 on Thursday. We do feature a Hero of the Week. Do you have that?
I do. And so I tell you, sometimes I have one that just makes sense because of something we've got going on or somebody we want to highlight. But sometimes I'm thinking about it on the way in. And this morning I was taking my daughter to school. And first of all, what a beautiful morning it was out there. Like,
God was showing off.
That's what she said. God was showing all the stuff. The leaves were kind of trickling in the sun, and the barns were smoking in the fog, everything you want to see. So I was talking to my daughter, and I told her, I said, I need a Hero of the Week. And she said, I have one. And I said, okay. And I said, well, she said, but I don't think you'll like it. And she does it. So I was like, okay, well, just tell me. I was like, we're in a brainstorming session, so it's open. No bad ideas.
I can just see it.
Yeah. So she said, I want to do Girl Scouts because we make the world better. She is a Girl Scout up in Coopertown, but also specifically want to drill down a little bit. And the leaders of the Girl Scouts that volunteer their time, the moms, because dads don't get to. I kind of get shut out of this one a little bit, which is fine. But that volunteer their time to mentor our young young ladies here in this county, and it goes on all over the county. There's all kind of little troops around there. But I just want to give a little shout out to all those, the Girl Scouts one, but then the ladies that are volunteering their time with their kids and mentoring other young ladies that may not be getting a lot of that in certain areas. And this is an area where they're getting it, and they're doing service projects, and they're learning about things that they need to know in the community. So I just want to give a big shout out to them for volunteering time, because I've seen it. My wife's pretty involved in it right now, and I've seen the amount of time she puts in on it.
Yeah.
And it's a lot, but you're pouring into young people again. So kind of with our
Girl
theme here this
Scouts.
morning. So Girl Scouts, because they make the world better.
I love it.
Yeah, that's from Ava Pulley.
That's great. I love it.
Yeah.
Talking about all things that are community and nonprofit related with United Way. If you didn't know that United Way did what they do, my goodness, you need to check it out, because we've got an awesome branch of the United Way here in Robertson County. What else have you got? But we'll just let you finish up before we go to our break, because we'll start talking about Cumberland Connect and we won't get nothing else done. So go ahead.
I just wanted to give a shout out to those who volunteered with Laundry Love last week. We did over 900 loads of laundry.
Wow.
Served over 36 households, which, equivalates is the equivalent of close to 80 to 90 people. And so we were able to do that only through the help of volunteers and donations. That's the only way that it happens. And so we just wanted to say thank you to all those who have donated their quarters, donated their checkbooks, those who've donated their time, because that's how it happens. I can't imagine not being able to put on clean clothes every day. And so I'm so grateful that that we have that program. Boo Bash Dash, of course, is coming up on Saturday, and I know we've talked a lot about it, but I want to throw that back out there because
CASA's your people.
CASA's my people, for sure. I love CASA. I love what we do, because I am a CASA advocate myself, and so it's a great cause. So go out and run. They actually already have more people registered than they've ever had run
Oh, that's
before.
wonderful. The weather's looking good.
And I know.
I'm
just
so excited.
The first time
Like
long time it
perfect.
hasn't rained.
Yeah.
It's like 70 and sunny on Saturday.
And it's at the
Yeah.
fairgrounds. And that's
Yes.
new, isn't it? Because normally you
Yes.
started at the park or in the green.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's starting at the fairgrounds this
Because
year.
they're making it a big deal this year, and so their food truck's going to be there. United Way is actually going to be there. We're going to have a photo booth there, and so
Fun.
come visit me, come see me. And one of the things that I'm actually, we've done a couple booths this time of year. We're really trying to get people connected in volunteer work. So if you are looking for a place to plug in, come talk to me. I have reached out to all the nonprofits in the county and asked them to tell me what their needs are. And so we have like a huge need. And I almost mentioned this yesterday in your class. We have a huge need right now for a lot of nonprofits need somebody to run their social media. And that's something that, if you have just a little bit of time throughout your day, that maybe you don't have hours to donate, on a Wednesday or whatever, but you have a little bit of time throughout your day, come talk to me and we'll plug you into a nonprofit that needs help with that. And we have help like at Willow Oak. So if you're into the arts, we have, no matter what you're into, there's a place for you to use your talents to plug into the community. So come find me, or call me, email me, text me, whatever, and get plugged into the community. If you're sitting going, man, I really want to give back somehow, come talk to me. We'll find a place for you. So, and also I want to mention real fast, also on Saturday, CVS Pharmacy is doing a drug take back. So we don't have the problem with our prescription drugs getting into the hands of those who might harm themselves with it. So please take all your narcotics and stuff back to CVS Pharmacy on the 29th. It's from 10 to 2, and you can drop them off there. And also I want to give a shout out to the cold weather shelter. My father's house is opening up November 1st. And so we're super excited for them and to support them in this. And I don't know if you got a chance to go to their open house and see.
I did not. We've got some video we've done with the students. The sound is not great, and so that's why we haven't pushed it out. I may have to get with Charlene and get her to let us do a do-over, because the sound just wasn't what we wanted it to be. But we are just the same as our time. You got anything else?
You can go.
No, are you sure? Are you sure?
Yeah, no, that was great. I
Awesome.
mean, other things are just kind of some things that are standard every month. But
Okay.
so yeah.
Little tease for next week. We were going to be talking about give thanks. We're about to be in full give thanks mode, and so we'll probably spend some time just really talking about that and some needs and ways you can get involved with that.
Very good. And we got to go out with Cumberland Connect. I got to tell you, they're on my road. They were at my house not my house. They were at my neighbor's house. We did a field trip to my house to interview Joe Blue about Bigfoot, and we did it down on the creek bed, and we were driving down there, a bus full of kids, and I said, "There's Cumberland Connect," and they were all, and I had to explain to them what it was, and they were all, "Yeah." You have no idea. They're getting close.
It's Christmas for you.
Have you got it?
No.
You're kidding. They're in your neighborhood. I'm surprised they haven't got it.
Yeah, I think that maybe they were, that other company came out and did everything,
Yeah.
and then they probably had a process to work back. So maybe they're starting here and working out. I'm patiently waiting as I pay my $94 Spectrum bill. So
I'm $65 to AT&T,
Yeah.
and they're terrible. And I'm
Yeah.
going to spend $80 and get a gig from Cumberland Connect, and I cannot wait. 1,000 megabits per second. That's what you get for $80. If you are a Cumberland Electric customer, you're going to have access to Cumberland Connect. They're coming your way 24/7, 365 days a year. Technical support, a state-of-the-art Wi-Fi 6 router included with internet service, no extra charge. Go to www.cumberlandconnect.org. They're going to be knocking on my door soon. It's going to be
Soon.
interesting if I get it for you.
and they're in campaign right now. I want to say that
Oh,
Cumberland,
yeah.
they're running their campaign
Okay.
right now. I think they kicked off Friday
For United Way.
For United Way, they're running Cumberland Electrics are in their campaign, and they run that at all their locations across the area. So thank you to them.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. This is one street over, a minute late. I'm so sorry, OU, but we're wrapping it up. Thank you for being a part of this. We will have Faith Friday tomorrow, and I hope you will join us for One Street Over. This is 1100 WSGI. God bless.